Hello and welcome to today's screencast. We're going to talk about our mHealth survey engine. And for the first application of this engine, we're targeting the use of this engine to drive the study for mHealth intervention for smoking cessation. I'm going to walk you through the survey engine, which is basically used to build survey questions and answers and assign users to these surveys so they can complete them and we can get some statistical reports out of these to drive our research efforts. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is the basic interface of our web administrative console here. And I've got my password already in here, so I'm just going to go ahead and log in. And once I log in, you'd see a dashboard of various surveys that I have access to. And so I could create a new survey. I could see existing surveys. I can edit a survey. I can activate a survey, or I can delete a survey. And if there are multiple surveys here, you'd see several pages available. Also, in this interface, we're able to add new users, edit existing users, and then delete users. The other option that you'd see is I'm able to take surveys, review previously completed surveys, and submit or click on Done to submit a previously completed survey. Um, we're trying to be a little warm and welcoming, so when you log in, you would see a welcome to your username would be displayed in this spot here. You also have the option to log off. So I'm going to go ahead and test that by clicking on log off. It takes me off the screen, and I'm back to my admin login where I can log in here. And I was able to log in successfully. So one of the things I'm going to try to show you real quick here is how to create a new survey. So to do that, you just click on Create New Survey. That brings up a page to allow you to put in the name of the survey. So I'm going to say My Demo Survey. I need to remind myself that this is just for demo's sake. Okay, so that brings up the screen, and I can go ahead and add questions to the survey. So I have a blank template that shows up, and typically we have two types of questions. A simple question, which is what you're typically used to, and then you have the great questions. In today's screencast, I'm going to limit ourselves to the scope of the simple question. So let's go ahead and call this question maybe how much work do you do every day? Um, and I could make that a required question, so I can go ahead and do that. And as you would notice, I have three icons that show up. So this plus icon allows me to add um, other to provide answer choices for the specific question. I could use this icon in the middle here to edit my question. And then, of course, the red icon would be used to delete the question. So I'm going to go ahead and add some answer choices. And as soon as I click on that, you see the pop-up comes up, modal pop-up, with the option to select the type of question, type of answer, excuse me. The type of answers would be a checkbox-based, radio button, or text box, at least for the simple question types. So let's go ahead and create a couple of answer choices for checkbox answers, multiple choice, if you will. So I would say um, 8 hours as a potential option. In fact, that's not a multiple choice. I'm going to go ahead with the radio button. So 8 hours. And I might add a couple other answer choices, maybe 10 hours, and I would select radio button, or I might say 12 hours, right? And well, interestingly, you might not have all the answer choices here where somebody could select. So I could go ahead and click on other as an option. Make that a radio button. Um, but I might want to get the actual number of hours when other is selected. So in this case, I'm going to create a nested answer choice underneath that. Um, in this case, that's going to be, um, let's say, specify number of hours. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make that a text box option. So that would be a text box option. Click on OK, and as you can see, that's nested under the other. So if you were to specify other, we'll be looking to get the number of hours, actual number of hours. So I'm happy with that question. I'm going to go ahead and create a couple other checkbox questions. Some generic things in here. So question number 2, for example, simple question. Click OK. And my answers are just going to be generic, right? Answer 1, I'm going to make that a checkbox. Answer 2, I'm going to make that a radio button. I'm going to accidentally select a radio button, even though that's not a good way to design um, your survey questions here. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a simple text box. Um, text box question. Let's make this a capitals, make it look pretty and consistent. And my answer choice is just going to be a plain text box, right? Specify answer. And, it's up to you on how you want this to look, but you get the basic idea. So anyway, I made a mistake here. I could decide that I might decide that I want to edit this and switch it from a radio button to a checkbox. So I can click on the middle button here, and that allows me to change this to a checkbox. I can hit OK. If I decide that, well, I don't really need that third option, I can click on this icon here and notice how it deletes that right away. So that's the basic flow for building a survey with questions and answers. And again, we're only limiting this to the scope of simple questions. In the next screencast, we'll talk about complex questions, which I'm basically calling grid questions. Anyway, so this is ready to go, but it has not been activated yet. So if I were to go back to my managed surveys, I can see my demo survey. And if I click on edit survey, it brings me back to that screen where I previously had the survey. And see all my choices are still here. I can continue to edit those, add more questions, and that type of thing. If I were to be satisfied with the current state of this demo survey, I would go ahead and click on Activate. So notice once I activate, I don't have the option to delete or edit the survey. That's just the basic requirement that we have right now for surveys. Now this would change down the road where super admin would still be able to edit some of the survey, correct some typos if it's already in production, and other people are complaining about the behavior of the survey. But just for the sake of testing, so once I create the survey, I could test this using the web interface. So I simply come in here, and you can see a couple of surveys that have been activated. You see the list of surveys I have under my surveys are just the list of surveys that have been activated. And so I see my demo survey, and I can go ahead and click Start. I can attempt to take the survey. So this is, the questions and answers that I created previously. If I were to select other, put in 8, maybe 9 hours. And notice I don't have any validation here that the feature we're going to be adding down the road. We do have the option in the complex questions to put in a business rule, attach a business rule to a question. We'll demo that in the next screencast as well. Hello, an answer, and I submit. And notice I get you successfully completed the survey. And if I go in here to my surveys, I would see the survey marked as, I no longer have the option to start it. I could review it. Let's go back and edit my answers, or I can click on done to indicate that I am done with that specific survey. And notice it falls off my radar. I would no longer be able to complete this specific survey. Um, the other feature of the site is that we can create users and give them access to surveys. So I could come in here and look, view the list of users currently in the system. I'm currently only showing 5 per page, so there are probably about 11 folks with access right now. I'm going to go ahead and create a new user just for our demo's sake, and I'm going to call it Demo 1 and specify a password. Notice I have an option to indicate if this user is going to be an admin, in which case they can build surveys, or they're just going to be a user where they're just taking completing surveys. Um, so I'll keep this user as an admin for now. And then I get the option to choose between the various um, groups that are available for this specific mHealth study. So I might select MIII as a potential group. Click submit. That is saved successfully. Notice demo 1 is shown here, and I can go in and edit this user. If I don't specify a password, the previous password specified would be used. If I specify a password here, it would overwrite the previous password. So I'm going to leave that as is. I might switch, let's say, the group to MMII, click submit, and as you can see, that was persisted. So let's say I want to log in as demo 1 and see what demo 1, what types of things demo 1 has access to. I might log off, log in as user demo 1, and because demo 1 is an admin, they get access to the various surveys. They can edit, activate, delete. But more importantly, they can come in here and they have access to all these surveys that they can still complete, unlike the user that I previously used for the login. And this completes our screencast on the mHealth survey engine. In the next screencast, we'll bring you more additional features and talk to you about some of the interesting things that we're using this engine for. Thank you.